The plank is a great exercise that many volleyball players do, but also many volleyball players don't know about its benefits. Why do plank exercise? How does the plank help you in volleyball? I'll answer that in today's video. In volleyball, we make fast movements. Our body and joints have to withstand a lot of jumps and impacts. All of these movements are transmitted through our core. Our core is like the suspension in a car. If it works well, you enjoy a smooth ride. If the suspension doesn't work, then you are bouncing from side to side in the car. With the body, it's similar. If your core doesn't work properly, expect problems. That's why every volleyball player needs a good core. And the plank is one of the ultimate exercises I think every volleyball player should do. Self-weighted exercises are very popular, mainly due to their simplicity and practicality. You don't need to go to a hall or to a gym to do a plank. You can do the plank at home and you don't need any equipment to do it. It's not a challenging exercise of the type that you have to lift a 100 kg weight to feel the muscles strengthen. It's not an exercise that you have to run for an hour to feel significant progress in fitness. It's a simple exercise that engages a lot of muscles in the abdomen and the back. But it also strengthens the shoulders and other muscles. That's why in this video I'll tell you 7 reasons why the plank is the ultimate exercise for volleyball players. But before that, let's take a look at what the plank actually is and why you should do it. The plank exercise is one of the most effective exercises a volleyball player can do. Why? Because it requires only little time to practice. In a few minutes you are done, and it offers the opportunity to achieve significant results in a relatively short period of time. The abdominals play an important role in a volleyball player's optimal posture and provide support for our entire back and spine. It is also essential in the prevention of pain, injuries and injuries that can happen to you in volleyball. Surely you know the pain in your lower back after a training when you have done just 100 jumps, or the back pain after traveling several hours by bus to a match. And the plank is one of the exercises that can help you with these problems. However, in order for the plank exercise to protect your core and back from pain and injury, you need to keep your abs and back strong and trained regularly. This means that practicing the plank at least 3 times a week is a must in order to achieve strengthening of your core and spinal support. How to practice plank? The best way is to start with a classic plank. Start in a basic plank position with your forearms and toes on the ground. Keep your torso straight, stable and your whole body in a line from ears to toes without arching your back. Your head should be relaxed and your look should be on the ground. To begin with, it's sufficient if you stay in this position for 10 seconds. Gradually increase the time to 30, 45 and 60 seconds. Once you have mastered the plank for 60 seconds, you can move on to the demanding version where lifting your arm or leg. Keep your abdominal muscles engaged during the exercise and don't allow your stomach to sag or your hips to rise up. Tilt your pelvis toward the ground to avoid extending your hips and buttocks. Remember to breathe. Breathe in and out slowly and regularly. Anyway, if you want to work on the plank long term, I recommend doing 3 sets in the beginning. A minute of work followed by a minute of rest, then repeat the same thing 2 times more. Once you have mastered this, you can move up to 5 sets and also increase the workout time slightly. I definitely don't recommend doing the plank for more than 3 minutes though. If you are good at the classic plank and you can hold plank position for a few minutes, change positions and variations. Don't just do one plank exercise. Before we go into the reasons why the plank is the ultimate exercise for volleyball players, I also need to mention the 2 most common mistakes when doing the plank. The first is about overestimating your abilities, and the second is about routine mistakes in execution technique. So let's start with the first one. The most common mistakes people and volleyball players make is overestimating their abilities. Instead of learning how to perfectly master the classic elbow and toe plank, they already move on to higher level master plank positions with the leg raised or even the opposite arm, plank on the bosu, on a gymnastic ball, on TRX and so on. The result of some of these attempts is often a disaster for their health. Therefore, before you decide to take the plank to the next level, make sure you master the technique of the classic plank. This brings us to the second common mistake. Failure to master the technique of performing the exercise. This is easy to recognize: an overly forward pelvis, deactivated shoulder blades, dropped shoulders, bowed head, inactive abdomen, dropped chest, pushed out shoulders, blades, and so on. If you are not sure if you are doing the exercise correctly, watch a few YouTube videos and don't be afraid to ask an expert. He or she will be happy to explain how the plank should technically look like. Invest in yourself, it will help you and your health. Now let's take a look at 7 reasons why the plank is the ultimate exercise for volleyball players. You'll strengthen your entire abs. The plank is an ideal abdominal exercise precisely because it engages the entire core group, including the transverse abdominis, rectus abdominis, external oblique, and glutes. Many volleyball players underestimate the abdomen and its muscles. I know players who say they only need strong legs to jump high and shoulders to deliver hard hits in volleyball. That's a big mistake. The importance of strengthening each muscle groups of the abdomen should not be underestimated, as each one of these groups has a purpose. If you strengthen these muscle groups, you will find that the transverse abdominis muscle increases the ability to lift heavier weights. The rectus abdominis improves athletic performance, especially when jumping and attacking in volleyball. Oblique abdominals increase the ability to bend and twist the waist in a stable manner. Butt muscles support the back and strong sculpt butt. Reduce the risk of back injury and trauma. The plank is a type of exercise that allows you to build muscle mass, while making sure you don't put too much pressure on your spine and hips. According to American Council of Exercise, planking not only reduces back pain but also strengthens the muscles and provides strong support for the entire spine, especially at the top. Therefore, the plank is an excellent exercise for all volleyball players because it protects our backs, which often hurt in volleyball. More power in your attacks. If you do the plank exercise regularly, you will develop stronger abdominal muscles, and these muscles will help you with your attacks and jump serves. You'll make harder hits and your opponents will have more trouble receiving your serves or digging your attacks in the field. Practicing the plank perfectly improves your posture. Through core strengthening, you will be able to maintain proper posture at all times because the abdominal muscles affect the overall condition of your neck, chest, shoulders, and back. And we need proper posture in volleyball. In practice or a match, we are on our feet for 2 hours, doing a lot of dynamic movements. Jumping, attacking. If we are in the wrong positions during these actions, we have bad posture. We are increasing the risk of overload, muscle fatigue, or even the risk of injury. We also need correct posture when we are in the gym. Imagine you are doing a squat, you have more than 100 kilograms on your back and you are not in the right position. Your back is bent. You are putting yourself at great risk of injury with the exercise, and it cannot end well. With plank, you will improve your overall balance. Have you ever tried standing on one leg but couldn't stand it for more than a few seconds? That's because your abdominal muscles aren't strong enough to give you the balance you need. I see this especially with young volleyball players. They spend many hours in training, but their abdominal muscles are not developed, and then back problems result, especially as they are growing up. Improving your balance with planks and plank variations will improve your performance in volleyball. Because in volleyball we often get into positions where we land on one leg from a jump, or we are on a reception and we have to keep our body weight on one leg. You'll be more flexible than ever before. Flexibility is a key benefit that regular planking brings. With this form of exercise, you expand and stretch all of your back muscles groups, shoulders, shoulder blades, and collarbone, while also tightening your hamstrings, leg arches, and toes. If you still incorporate the side plank into your exercise plan, you can work on the oblique abdominals, which will give you additional benefits. And we need flexibility in volleyball. I already talked about this in this video. Planking is a great way to stimulate your whole body, and if you do it regularly, you'll burn more calories than with other common abdominal exercises like sit-ups and crunches. Muscles strengthened by this exercise several times a week will ensure you burn more energy even while sitting. This is especially important if you sit frequently or spend most of the day sitting in front of a computer. Should you choose to do 10 minutes of exercise every day, not only you will speed up your metabolism, but it will ensure that this rate remains high during the day and while you sleep. I myself am constantly practicing plank and I feel most of the benefits mentioned above on myself. Try doing the plank exercise regularly, incorporate it into your training process, and you will see that it not only helps you in the volleyball, but it is also a great help in preventing and protecting your body from injuries and trauma. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.